Viewers, UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath doesn't mince his words. In the face of massive criticism from opposition parties and so-called secular rights activists, Chief Minister Yogi has defended his government's decision to reopen locks of temples in Sambhal. Yogi has also spoken in support of reclaiming the local Jama Masjid allegedly constructed over an ancient Shiv temple. Among the reasons he cites is a quest for restoring Bharat's civilizational Hindu heritage. Yogi believes that Sambhal has been Islamicized systematically before and after independence with the aim of eviscerating, destroying all signs of Hindu faith. Towards this end, he has also referred to a recurring cycle of riots in Sambhal. Yogi believes there is a need to unearth the truth that has been buried and concretized under the lath of Islamist bigotry. These are his words, viewers. The UP CM wants to uncover the truth about the desecration of Hindu lives as also Hindu heritage. So there is parity and most importantly to kickstart the process of healing, which he says has never really taken place. Now, in the UP Assembly, he said, and I quote, an attempt was made to disrupt the atmosphere in Sambhal. Riots have been occurring continuously since 1947. In 1978, 184 Hindus were collectively burned alive. These are his figures. And a curfew was imposed for several months. He goes on to say, and I quote, riots happened again in 1980, 82, 86, 1990 to 1992, and also in 1996. Yogi Adityanath went on to tell the assembly members that, quote, since 1947, not a single word has been spoken in support of the innocent victims. People have only been shedding crocodile tears. The Bajrang Bali temple in Sambhal, which is being uncovered today, was not allowed to open by these people since 1978, unquote. By these people, viewers, he means those who have Islamist proclivities. Now, here are some facts that will put the actions of the state administration into some perspective for all of you viewers. The files on the riots that occurred 46 years ago in Sambhal, Uttar Pradesh, are set to be reopened. The decision was taken following a statement by the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath in the State Assembly on 8th January 2025. Moradabad Commissioner asked the Sambhal DM, the district magistrate, to hand over all records related to the riots. Several old cases are also to be reopened based on complaints from some individuals. The Sambhal riots were a massive blot on India's secular fabric, but unlike the Gujarat riots, viewers, hardly ever brought up. No one has actually talked about them. I don't even think you knew, for example, the riots were happening in repetitive cycles in Sambhal. Even journalists have been largely in the dark. Well, viewers, riot took place on the 29th of March in 1978 in Sambhal and lasted for several days. Not one, but several days. Of course, viewers, the only riots we ever talk about in our country ad nauseum are the ones that took place in Gujarat in 2002. Situation was so severe in Sambhal that a curfew was imposed in the city for 2 months. Can you imagine that, viewers? 2 months. Official death toll in the 1978 Sambhal riots was reported as just 24, but unofficially locals put the number of deaths at 184. How can there be a disparity of 160, viewers, in death figures? That's a point to ponder. The general feeling of discomfort over Yogi's plans throw up some questions, because there are opposition leaders who have come out and said, oh, why are you only focusing on Sambhal? Look at what happened in Gorakhpur. There are others, viewers, who have come out and said that Yogi Adityanath is trying to polarize the atmosphere, especially ecosystem rights activists, so-called secular activists. They've all come out and said, oh, he's trying to communalize, polarize. When the courts came and said that you can't conduct surveys, he's found another way of polarizing. The basic question is this: why should anyone view Yogi's mission to provide justice as a communal provocation? If opening old cases is a provocation, as some people are alleging, then should the decision to institute an SIT into the 1984 anti-Sikh riot cases have also been put on ice. Many people have said that is also a provocation. You're inciting Sikhs, you're reminding them of their wounds. Viewers, another question. If Ganga Jamuna Tehzeeb is a reality, why have Hindus had to leave Sambhal or even Srinagar for that matter, abandoning their homes and places of worship? And that too in independent India. Last but not least, has the trap of appeasement politics caused the ecosystem to ignore the wounds of Sambhal? Viewers, these are some fundamental questions and they must be asked tonight. And I want to open this debate out by bringing in straight and foremost Dr. Anand Ranganathan tonight. Dr. Ranganathan, you have been writing a lot, commenting a lot on Yogi Adityanath's endeavors to uncover the truth about Sambhal, saying that this is a quest for civilizational justice, but some people call it a communal provocation, an attempt here to stir the communal pot, to consolidate a Hindu vote and so on and so forth. I think you're familiar with the arguments. Do you see this as a communal provocation or an issue of providing civilizational justice so that there is some truth and so that there can be some reconciliation?
Good evening, Rahul. Look, just when one thought that the cries of Hindus to get justice were actually cries in the wilderness, comes this light, albeit flickering, at the end of this long secular tunnel that 1 billion Hindus have been forced in. One must not thank only Yogi Adityanath, but also the journalist Swati Goel Sharma and her investigation for the reopening of the Sambhal files. Thank you to both of them. Rahul, the year was 1978, just after Holi. 184 Hindus were murdered in cold blood in Sambhal. Scores were burnt alive by Muslim mobs. One Hindu, Banwari Lal, whose family talked to Swati, begged to be shot, but he was hacked to death instead by his friends. Many were butchered like animals. 46 years the families have waited for justice. Many have died waiting. But Rahul, this is a country where one hopes for deaths to rid us of our remembrances. Wait a little longer, says the state, just a little longer. This is a country where for Hindus to demand a semblance of justice is perceived as communal and bigoted, where one feels lost for hope, wondering whether that fabled arc of moral universe would ever bend towards justice for Hindus. This is a country, Rahul, where the Supreme Court refuses to reopen not only the Sambhal files but also the Kashmir files, saying too much time has elapsed. And so it doesn't make sense to investigate the crimes that happened during the Kashmiri Hindu genocide. Sambhal pogrom, Kashmiri Hindu genocide, the Mari Jhapi massacre where 10,000 Dalits were murdered in cold blood by communists in Bengal. How many files lie unopened, gathering dust inside those almirahs called appeasement? And those outraging at Sambhal files being reopened themselves demanded the reopening of the Hashimpura files, the 1984 files. Why? Because in Hashimpura, Muslims were massacred. In 1984, Sikhs were massacred. But no reopening in Sambhal because Hindus were massacred. But then again, this is a country where appeasement is no longer welfare, Rahul. Appeasement is now warfare. Warfare is when you enact laws and policies and acts that constitutionally and legally favor one community and discriminate against the other community. So you have the state that turns a blind eye to Waqf, usurping thousands of acres of Hindu land. You have the state that obligates only Hindu-run schools to keep 25% seats reserved for the poor, forcing thousands to close down. You have the state prohibiting Hindus to even approach the court to reclaim their demolished temples. You have the state controlling and taxing only temples and temple land but not mosques. You have no obligation for Muslims to accept the Uniform Civil Code, to accept the CAA, to accept laws and acts the rest of India does. You have terrorists and rioters being released. Remember the recent release of the Coimbatore bombers despite the refusal of the Supreme Court to give them bail? You have the Congress releasing PFI cadres, releasing those who ran over and attacked police stations, its leaders defending Simi in court, its chief crying tears at Batla encounter, its PM demanding an apology from Denmark for prophet cartoons. This is what happens when hubris in one community leads to anger in the other. Hubris that Indian laws don't apply to us, and anger that Indian laws are made to discriminate against us. Just 20 seconds, Rahul. Amidst this, as I said, a flicker of hope comes today in the form of reopening the Sambhal files, and it couldn't have come sooner. Let us hope the Supreme Court is shamed enough for it to now reopen the Kashmir files. The 35th anniversary, Rahul, as you know, of the Kashmiri Hindu genocide is only a week away. Justice is the only thing that separates humans from animals. let justices not be the only humans who deny it to us.
Well, viewers, that's an impassioned plea, putting into context what Yogi Adityanath is trying to do. So let me bring in Tariq Khan of the Samajwadi Party, whose party today came out and said, in fact, that we should be looking at other cases, for example, Gorakhpur, etc. Of course, open them all. No one is stopping anyone from investigating anything. But it should not be an either or situation. And I want to ask you, Mr. Khan, Mr. Tariq Khan, it's a very simple, straightforward question. If opening old cases is seen as a communal provocation, then should the decision to institute an SIT after all those many years in 2019 or 2020 into the 1984 anti-Sikh riot cases have also been then similarly scotched, put on ice? You could have said that is also a communal provocation. But no.
I don't find any problem in reopening these type of thing and have your investigation as Yogi Adityanath have got. But it's important to discuss that who were in power at that time. They were BJP. Janata Party were in power, and at that time Jansangh had a villain with Janata Party. So prominent leader, I'm naming them, were the minister at that time and what they were doing. I just want to ask to BJP this question. Kalyan Singh was the minister in 1978. Kesarinath Tripathi, later he became a big leader of BJP, was the minister at that time. Kalyan Singh, Ram Prakash Gupta, he later became the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. He was the minister in 1978, Janata Party government. They were in power. What they were doing at that time? If a party find responsible at any time a riot happens. So in 1978 in UP, then Bharatiya Janata Party named Jansangh along with Janata Party were in power. So why shouldn't they be accountable for that? Why shouldn't today a question asked that you were in power and what you have been doing since last 45 years. Now, after that, Kalyan Singh have become the chief minister. What probe you have done, what inquiry you have done. Rajnath Singh was the chief minister. You have done nothing. So, the so-called Thekedars of Hindu, what they were doing since last many years, even in 1978, they were in power, more than 100 Hindus were killed and they were sleeping. They were sleeping. They were sleeping.
Okay.
What they have done, if they in 1978, if they have done anything, just recall me what they have done, what their leader.
Okay, just a counter question, Mr. Khan, to you. Since you're talking about who was in power, this, that, the other. Yes, one second. In 1984, the Congress government was in power when the anti-Sikh riots happened. I'm sure you'll remember that, right? No justice was given to the Sikhs for years altogether. In fact, only now. Some Congress leaders have been booked and sent to jail. Now, you call yourself, the Samajwadi Party calls itself an inclusive party that represents everybody, takes everyone along. Isn't it, sir?
Yes.
Why were you then tying up with a party that gave no justice to the Sikhs repeatedly, sir?
I must say that in any type of government, let it be center
No, I'm
or
asking
in any
you.
state.
No, now don't go into all this. I'm asking you a specific question,
What I'm
Mr. Khan.
saying,
No, very specific question, please.
Responsible.
Mr.
No.
If was Congress responsible, yes or no?
Yes.
So then why were you tying up with the Congress party that refused to punish? No, Mr. Khan, you're not allowing me to finish. I allowed you to finish. Please listen to my question, because then you won't answer the question. If the Congress party was guilty, as you say, of collusion in the 84 anti-Sikh riots, then why does the Samajwadi Party, led by, at one time, Mulayam Singh Yadav and now by Akhilesh Yadav, why do they tie up with the Congress?
Would you ask the same question to BJP as well? They have tied
Sir,
with
I'm
many
asking
parties.
you this question.
Yes, you are
the
putting that
BJP,
gun
you
on
see, you
me
can't have
only.
whataboutery here.
On Samajwadi
Dekhiye
only.
Viewers, you can't be secular and then and be selective. You can either be secular, but you can't be selective. You can either be selective and not secular. Okay, so it's fine. So you are saying because
Any
so
riots
you're
happens
saying
in any government, that government is responsible.
Okay,
If that
so-
would be Samajwadi Party government,
Right.
we'll find us
Okay, quick
responsible
questions
for
are
that.
coming. 1 second. One Dr. Ranganathan is pitching one, and Ms. Sanju Verma responds on the larger question. Yes.
Yeah, so sorry, just 5 seconds. I respect Tariq Bhai, he's a very good friend. But this specious logic that whichever, as he said, whichever government was ruling is responsible. First of all, it was Janta Party, not the Jansangh that was ruling Uttar Pradesh at that point of time. But by that logic, Samajwadi Party is responsible for the 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots. And they've actually held BJP responsible because Akhilesh Yadav was the chief minister. So according to you, Akhilesh Yadav is responsible for the Muzaffarnagar riots. Say it, Tariq Bhai.
जनता पार्टी में जनसंघ ने अपना विलय कर लिया था.
Okay, Mr. Khan, please, let's not be so specious. In any case, in the Indian system, you can't immediately arrest, you can arrest people, but to collect evidence, etc., and our legal system takes months altogether. The next administrations, successive Congress administrations, you have named such big people. I can also name some very famous N.D. Tiwari and other chief ministers of the Congress party who came to power, but they didn't act. Even then, sir, you continued to ally. Now, you are saying, oh, we are allying because the BJP also allies. So fine, we are no different. We are as communal. It's okay. That's fine. If that is your argument, I rest my case. That's fine. That's up to the viewers to judge. Yes, Sanju Verma, quick response on this question of communal, and then I want to open this up with more substantive questions. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, give me 2-3 minutes. It's 50 minutes into the debate.
Yes,
yeah, I'll try to be as crisp as possible. First and foremost, let me make one thing very clear. The fact that the 1978 Sambhal killings are going to be now investigated and the hard truth is going to be out in the public domain, I think cutting across political ideologies, we need to welcome this step. Just because somebody did not take action for 4.5 decades, it does not mean that 4.5 decades later, you and me should be deprived of the hard facts. Point number one. Point number two, without being offensive to the Samajwadi Party, Ram Gopal Yadav, the uncle of Akhilesh Yadav, what did he say a couple of weeks back at the peak of the Sambhal controversy? He said, "Jab jab booth lootenge, tab tab patthar chalenge." This was just 48 hours after the bypoll results came out. And you are aware that out of 9 bypoll results, the BJP won 7 with a strike rate of 78% and the Samajwadi Party had a poor strike rate of 22%. So basically, when Ram Gopal Yadav says, "Jab jab booth lootenge, tab tab patthar chalenge," he is insinuating that because the Samajwadi Party lost and because the BJP won the bypolls with a hefty margin, what happened in Sambhal is justifiable. Point number two. So the people from the Samajwadi Party who sit here on national TV and shed copious tears, I want to ask them, आप यहाँ बैठकर बीजेपी को भाषण देते हैं, योगी आदित्यनाथ इज कम्युनल, ये भगवादारी 40 साल पुराना राइट केस निकालते हैं, मुझे बात बताइए. In April 2023, a notorious gangster called Atiq Ahmed died. He was the member of parliament on a Samajwadi Party ticket from Phulpur way back in 1994. Why is it that your leader Akhilesh Yadav failed to condemn Atiq Ahmed when Mukhtar Ansari died in March 2024? Akhilesh Yadav had the audacity to say that it's a state killing.
Okay.
Whereas the post-mortem said that he died of natural reasons. तो मेरा ये कहना है कि आप लोग, you're always on the other side of the fence. You're standing in solidarity with the rioters. You're standing in solidarity with the aggressors and the perpetrators, but you sit here and demand accountability of the Bharatiya Janata Party. You spoke about Kalyan Singh. Kalyan Singh is a man जिन्होंने कुर्सी छोड़ दी, सत्ता छोड़ दी अपनी आइडियोलॉजी के लिए, और आपके मुलायम सिंह यादव ने निहत्थे कार सेवकों पर गोली चलाई थी. Do you remember 1990 what मुलायम सिंह यादव did? 12 से ज्यादा कार सेवक शहीद हो गए. आज तक आपके अखिलेश यादव ने उन कार सेवकों की मौत पर शोक तक प्रकट नहीं किया, और आप यहाँ बैठकर बीजेपी को दिन दिहाड़े भाषण देते हैं नैतिकता का. 10 seconds more, 1 minute. Anand Ranganathan mentioned a very interesting point just in 20 seconds. Do you remember the date? 16th December 2024. What happened that day? There's a man called S.A. Basha accused of the Coimbatore killings wherein 58 people died. There was a janaza in Tamil Nadu in the honor of S.A. Basha, and all these so-called seculars of Samajwadi Party and Congress. ये ऐसे बादशाह के
More than-
जनाजा पर
Let me
आप
say
लोग
something.
तालियां बजा रहे थे.
Okay.
That he is a great man.
Let's
He's a
stick to
martyr.
this
ये
point.
शहीद है.
Selective, viewers, selective. Secularly selective they are. That's the charge basically at the Samajwadi Party. And I want to ask you, sir, are you selectively secular, as Sanju Verma is saying, because you are scared of losing your vote bank? The MY, the Y is the Yadav, M is the Muslim vote bank. And you know that Sambhal is Muslim majority, isn't it, sir? That's the reason why you're scared of any action being taken against any of those who are guilty for these riots.
We have been contesting in many states.
No, I'm
and
asking
we
you,
have-
sir. Forget about
we
the other
have-
states. I'm
we
talking
have
about
seats.
this particular
We
state.
have seats. I'm responding to your question. You have to give me time. Means we have seats, and not only MY is voting for us, and all irrespective of religion and caste, people are voting for Samajwadi Party. That's why we have seats in Uttar Pradesh. That's why. You calculate what is the percentage of M and Y, and then you calculate how many seats and how many votes we have in Lok Sabha elections.
So, how
You
many
get
years have you
everything.
been out of power in Uttar Pradesh?
More than 7.5 years. Almost more than 7 years.
ऐसा क्यों, sir?
ऐसा क्यों means people are giving a mandate. to
That's the
sit in
problem,
opposition and
viewers,
ask questions.
because the majority has realized that Tariq Khan's party only actually speaks for a minority. That's why. They can't carry everyone along. They have won one
You ask
particular
question and you
bunch
move
of
forward.
seats.
This is
They
not
have,
fair.
they have
This
become.
is not fair.
No. What
Mr. Anchor, I'm leaving. This is not fair. You have to give me time. If
No,
you
please
have,
respond.
If you have called
I
me,
thought you had
if
stopped.
you have called me, don't do this. You have given more than 3 minutes.
I
to
asked
BJP
you.
spokesperson.
I asked you, why
I
are
have
you
asked
losing?
I have asked her about 1978 BJP government. In more than 3 minute speech, not a single second on that era. That your
That
leaders
Dr.
were in
Ranganathan
power,
asked you,
what
are you
have done?
responsible for Muzaffarnagar?
Every
Are you
government
responsible
who
for
are
Muzaffarnagar?
We are in power.
Are
This
you
government-
responsible for Muzaffarnagar 2013?
I'm saying this. Any party which are in power, riots happen in that state, that government will be responsible.
Who took the responsibility from your party?
All the time.
Did Akhilesh
all the
Yadav
time.
step down?
Never. Okay.
Then why did you release? Then why did you release the rioters?
Gujarat
Why
riots,
did you release
Modi-
the rioters?
Modi stepped
No,
down.
1 second.
Modi
Did you
stepped
not
down.
release the
Gujarat
rioters?
riots, Gujarat riots, Modi stepped
Sir,
down.
did you
Gujarat
release the
riots,
rioters? Yes or no?
Gujarat riots,
Did you
Modi
release the
stepped-
rioters? Yes or no?
No.
Did you
no.
release the rioters?
Modi
Yes or
stepped
no?
down. Modi stepped down. जब गुजरात में
Okay.
दंगा हुआ, Modi stepped down हुए. आपने उनसे पूछा?
Viewers, here's the problem. Here is the absolute problem. They say, yes, we are responsible. But no one takes responsibility. Modi
We
never
are
said he was responsible.
But in 1978,
Modi never said he
BJP
was
not
responsible for
responsible.
Gujarat. Modi never said
You
it.
are
Show me one
hypocritic.
statement where he said I was responsible for Gujarat riots. The fundamental fact, viewers, is this. Anyhow, let me bring in Shahid Ali Saab also. Let's open this up. Let's ask some deeper questions. Sir, if there is a Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb in this country, and if it is a reality, why have the Hindus had to leave Sambhal, which was and continues to be Muslim majority from 1978, or Srinagar, abandoning their homes and their place of worship? Why, sir? Both are Muslim majority provinces. From both these places, Hindus have had to leave. Why is it, sir, if there's Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb?
So network, in fact, there is network issue.
Yes, sir, I know. Network always has an issue when I ask the tough question. So I want to ask you, क्या हुआ शाहिद साहब? Can you hear me now? Okay, he seems to have blanked me out there. We're going to try and restore you, sir, to your former glory so you can hear clearly. But I want to ask Dr. Ranganathan this question. If there is, and then I'll bring in Shahid Ali, I also bring in Mr. Khan. I want to ask you this. You heard the question. Ganga, Jamna, Tehzeeb, this, that, the other, great, okay. Is the onus only on one community, that is the majority community? In the minority community, strongholds, Hindus leave. Like in Sambhal, they had to leave.
Absolutely, Rahul. There is no such thing as Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb. Ganga Jamna बोल के गंगा भी ले ली और यमुना भी. That is a fact. As Pushpender Kulkarni said, भाईचारा करते रहते हो, पता लगाओ भाई कौन है, चारा कौन है. This is the problem. If Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb existed, then wouldn't the Muslims have unilaterally given away all the discriminatory things that they were taking advantage of? For example, the Waqf Act. For example, would they not have allowed the abrogation of Places of Worship Act? Would they have said that, look, only the temples are under control in a secular state, we will also allow mosques to be under control? So many things have happened that the Muslims have given to them by the so-called secular virtue signalers, starting from Mahatma Gandhi, Mohandas Gandhi, that it is now a force of habit. This Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb, but Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb, as I said, translates into hubris for one community and discrimination against the other community. That is what it is.
So, Shahid Ali, as I asked you, can you hear me now? 1 second, Shahid
Yes,
Ali is
sir.
back.
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, if it is a reality, why have Hindus had to leave Sambhal or Srinagar, abandoning their homes and places of worship? Both these areas, Sambhal or Srinagar, have a majority population of Muslims. Why is it, sir?
Who says that the people or Hindu people have left Sambhal and Srinagar? Still, they are the people belonging to Hindu religion.
Sir,
And I am.
do you?
Yes, yes. This is the fact. This is the fact. You may say anything while on television. You may say anything while on television.
I want to answer this.
In Sambhal, you may send your team, your own team.
Yeah.
Your own team, and they may.
Have you not seen the news reports of so many people who have left?
Sir, they may investigate from there.
So in Srinagar, no one is left. There was no exodus.
So please.
Shahid Ali, was there no exodus?
Please do not.
Was there no exodus?
False news on this channel.
Was there no exodus?
Hindus have left.
Was there no exodus in Srinagar?
In 1978, in 1980, in 1984, Muslims were killed in Sambhal and Muradabad. In 1987, 1986, Muslims were killed in Meerut. In 2002, more than 3,000 Muslims were killed in Gujarat.
I am asking you, sir, how is it that in Sambhal, there are abandoned temples of Hindus who have left? No, 1 second. Hindus have left localities. No, 1 second. Localities have changed hands. There have been repeat violence. And in Srinagar, are you denying that there was an exodus?
Sir, India is watching you, sir. Please.
I'm asking you, Mr. Ali. Please answer. They're also watching you. So I'm asking you, was there no exodus in Srinagar?
I have already replied.
So you said there's no. I can't have a debate, viewers, if someone wants to be so obstinate about the facts.
Absolutely false stand. Hindus have been living peacefully. Their places of worship
Rahul, I need to
are not only in existence as on date. They are very much over there.
Okay, so viewers, if there is Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb in this country and it is so well entrenched, why do we keep hearing a certain section of the ecosystem that constantly says that Muslim khatre mein hai? There is Islamophobia in this country? There is something wrong. Either one side is right or the other side is right. Okay, Ms. Verma,
Rahul,
could you respond, please?
Yes. Rahul, I will just endorse what you said with hard facts. And, I think your audience needs to listen to this. Uttar Pradesh became a state in 1950, around 75 years back. And I have some data with me that as recently as even 1970, barely 55 years back, undivided Sambhal. Because remember, Sambhal became a full-fledged district only in 2011.
That's right.
Undivided Sambhal in 1970, barely 5.5 decades back, had Hindu population which was 54%, 54.7%. And guess today what is the status? The status today is that the Muslim population is 77.67%.
Yeah.
Hindus are 22%.
22.
Christianity is 0.12%.
Yes.
Sikhism is 0.06%.
6% and Buddhist 0.03%.
0.03%.
Yeah.
And Jainism 0.02%.
Yes.
The limited point I'm making is that in less than 5.5 decades, which is not a long period of time, the entire demography of a district changes dramatically. From 54.7% Hindus, they are down to 22%. And these guys on national TV from the other side still say लैंड जिहाद, डेमोग्राफिक जिहाद,
Sanju Verma,
पॉपुलेशन
falsity of
जिहाद
her
है ही
statement is
नहीं।
apparent from the mere fact.
पॉपुलेशन जिहाद
Once you
1930
say
का कोई है
Sambhal
नहीं।
came into
भाई साहब
being
झूठ बोलना
in
बंद करिए।
2011.
Shahid
Sambhal
Ali,
came
you're
into
a
being in
Holocaust denier.
2011.
What can I say to
You
you?
are giving the date of
You're a Holocaust
1950.
denier. In Srinagar, you have denied that there was
Sir,
a Holocaust
what
and
you
there
are
was an
saying,
Exodus. Now, what
you
can I
have been
say?
spreading false news.
Okay,
You have
Shahid
been
Ali,
making
we
false
can't have a
stories.
conversation if you're
You
not
may
willing
say
to
anything,
even
sir,
accept the
what
bare
you want to
minimum.
say.
Forget
Sambhal
it, sir.
came into being in
I rest
2011.
my case,
Sanju
sir. You are
Verma
absolutely
said
right.
it right now.
No,
You are giving data of 1950. What you are talking about?
I accept your
Where
point of view,
Sambhal
sir. There is
was-
no way I can have a
Sambhal
civilized
was-
debate with somebody
Sambhal
who
was
goes
an
to the extent,
independent
viewers, of
district in
denying a
1950.
Holocaust. Now, what
Can
am I
you tell
supposed to
from
say? In
where
Germany,
you are
a
getting
person
this
like
data?
this would have been
Sir,
ostracized.
हद होती है झूठ
But
की।
in India,
इतना मत
this
बोलिए
is
ना।
called
शर्माते तो हो
freedom
गया,
of
आप लोग रात को
expression.
सोते
Okay,
वक्त।
Mr. Ali, please
अरे
relax.
शर्माते
Calm
नहीं हो
down.
रात से रात को
Dr.
सोते वक्त हम
Ranganathan,
क्या
yes.
क्या झूठ बोल रहे हैं, हम क्या
Dr.
चीजें कर रहे
Ranganathan,
हैं,
yes, you
क्या
want to
दे
make
रहे
a
हैं
point.
देश को आप लोग इस तरह की
Yes,
चीजें करके।
yes, yes.
Yes, Shahid
इस
Sahab,
कदर
please
झूठ
wait.
साहब, इस
Okay,
कदर झूठ हद कर रखी है बिल्कुल।
कोई बात
एक second, Shahid Sahab. I respect Shahid Sahab. He's very erudite. I just want to ask a very simple question to him, if he permits me. He's a very reasonable man, advocate as well. Shahid Sahab, was Hassan Nasrallah a terrorist?
ये कौन है साहब हसन नसरुल्लाह, मैं नहीं जानता।
ठीक है. You know, the point is, viewers,
मैं नहीं जानता
the
भाई,
point
इसमें हंसने
is,
की क्या बात है?
yes, because you see,
रघुनाथ साहब,
now 1 second, आप बड़े अच्छी तरह उनको जानते हैं. जब ये हसन नसरल्ला के लिए यहाँ पर कई लोगों ने
मैं नहीं
एजिटेशन की, आप थे इस शो पे और आपने जस्टिफाई किया था. नहीं,
याकूब
forget
मेमन को
it.
जानते हैं कि नहीं?
Viewers, forget it.
याकूब मेमन को जानते हैं कि नहीं? याकूब मेमन का जनाजा निकला था मुंबई में 2015 में। आप जैसे लोग जनाजे पर शामिल हुए थे। याकूब मेमन was a terrorist accused of the 1993
Okay, it's okay.
Mumbai blast.
Sanju Verma, why are you wasting your breath? The point here is, viewers, and it's fundamental, if someone comes and blithely says, there was never an exodus in Srinagar, there is a person sitting here, right here in front of you, viewers, who has had this experience. What more can one say? There is no argument. That's the end of the debate. There is no debate, actually. Let's move on, viewers, because quite clearly certain people are rattled by the truth. And there will be more revelations tonight. And let's focus on this next story. Remember, viewers, what they said? We are fighting the good fight. The fight to restore constitutionalism, human rights, and democracy in the country. We have a coherent ideology, they promised. We aren't opportunistic like the BJP and the NDA. But now, after the daily bickering, the transparently transactional nature of the alliance, and the lack of leadership within the India bloc, which has become so embarrassing that now even the original stakeholders have started to speak up, questioning its reason to exist, viewers. The clearest and sanest voice to emerge, and that has perhaps always been the clearest and sanest voice in the India alliance, has come out and said, and that is, I'm talking about Omar Abdullah, viewers. He's come out and said, as far as I remember, there was no time limit to the India alliance. Unfortunately, no India alliance meeting is being organized, so there is no clarity about leadership, agenda, or our existence. They should wind up the alliance in case it was just for the parliament elections, unquote. In fact, RJD Saian Tejaswi Yadav has kicked off this debate, admitting that the lack of clarity or the contradictions within the alliance now are not unusual because opportunism was the driving force behind the need to create the bloc. That context I have added, viewers. This is what he said, and I quote, "It is not unusual. In Lok Sabha election, the main motto was to defeat the BJP in the election, and the alliance of the India bloc was limited up to that motto, that we were only there to defeat the BJP, whatever it took." He went on to add, in such a situation, it is not unnatural for the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party to have conflicts, unquote, to contest each other. Viewers, only parties that don't have a cohesive ideology will fight each other. If they're just in it for electoral rewards, they will go to the extent of annihilating each other to win a seat. And that is what we're seeing. The lack of a mission strategy is so apparent that even Congress leaders are now taking positions opposite to each other. And that too in public, confirming that the alliance lacks leadership and a unifying mission. sample this. These are two leaders. One is a veteran of the Congress party, a former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Prithviraj Chavan. And he's come out and said, viewers, it would have been better had the Congress and AAP sealed a poll deal. It is an important election. Both parties are in the fray. I think Arvind Kejriwal-led party is in a solid position and will win the Delhi elections. Sandeep Dikshit, senior Congress leader in Delhi, who's actually in the thick of it and is standing and contesting a seat against Kejriwal, says many Congress voters in Delhi wanted the BJP should not form government in Delhi because of some reason. We are not seen as fighting strongly in 2015 and 2019. So, 12 to 14% of Congress voters were voting for Aam Aadmi Party. But now, in 2024 and 2025, we are seen as a strong contender in Delhi and people are tired of Kejriwal. The 12 to 14% voters are returning back into the Congress. Unquote. This embarrassing confusion and pointlessness of the alliance prompts several questions. Don't the admissions by Omar Abdullah and Tejaswi Yadav prove that the India bloc has no commitment to any high-minded ideals and it was purely an electoral alliance? Are we back to a situation where there is no viable alternative to Modi? Will the India bloc now admit that the only reason it came together was to defeat Modi? That there was no other larger ideological glue? There was no question of restoring this country to democracy, constitutionalism as they were claiming, viewers. Let's open this up. Let's pose these questions tonight. Let's ask Tehseen Poonawalla first of all to respond. Mr. Poonawalla, you have now Mr. Omar Abdullah who's stepping up. And he's saying, we have no leader. You heard him. Let me repeat. We have no agenda, no leadership. What is the point of our existence? There's no clarity even above that. Now, are we now at a point, and let me just ask, where the India bloc has admitted really that it is not a credible ideological opponent of Mr. Modi. So we are back to where we began. There's no viable alternative.
Good evening, Rahul. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Let me accept a couple of things that you've put forward and the alliance leaders have put forward. I do agree, and I've said this multiple times on your show and multiple podcasts that I've done, that the vision cannot be to defeat the BJP. That can't be the vision. The vision has to be to take India forward. And to that extent, yes, you do need a vision document. You do need a common minimum program, and then you do need sort of a secretariat that functions with a media department that functions, and the media department can't be one press release boycotting 14 journalists. So there has to be some sort of a structure to that. I've also gone ahead and recommended a shadow cabinet, various names that could have been a shadow cabinet. Having said that, I don't understand what prevents Honorable Mamta ji or Omar Abdullah or Lalu Prasad Yadav's son from coming across and taking this, giving this alliance structure. There is one more fundamental problem that I see as an outsider, which will need to at some point be addressed. You see, the India alliance or all other political parties in India are also, those today who are vying for posts are kids of or pampered kids of politicians. So I think that will also have to play a factor, and the kind of opposition you would want with regards to the BJP, because even in the BJP alliance, the rest of them, the next generation, are pampered kids of politicians. So I think that will be something the country will have to take forward. But no, it is true. They are pampered kids of politicians. So that is one part of it. And that's also in the BJP alliance. That's Indian politics, unfortunately, throughout. But with the India alliance,
name the biggest pampered kid of politicians?
I think the one in the south. I honestly believe the one in south.
So one second.
I really believe the one in south.
One second.
I really believe
So,
it.
Mr. Poonawalla, you actually admitted. You admitted a lot tonight. Why would you need a vision statement when the only reason you came together was to defeat Modi? That mission has not succeeded. So that's the end of it. Now, you said, why can't the TMC, why can't Mamta Banerjee? I'll tell you why Mamta Banerjee, and there is the TMC supporter here, Tausif Khan. The reason Mamta Banerjee will never take the leadership and provide, in your words, a comprehensive vision is because when the moment the West Bengal elections will take place in 2026, she'll be contesting against the Congress. Because it's all about electoral gain. Isn't it, Tausif Khan? That's what it is.
No, the India alliance is basically about the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi
Okay.
pitted against the ideology of Nathuram Godse.
So why is
That
AAP
is
versus
all the
Congress
India
happening,
Alliance
TMC
about.
versus Congress happening?
On one
TMC
side,
versus left happening.
no, the Congress also is on the same ship as the other India Alliance partners. So far, defeating the ideology of Nathuram Godse is concerned.
No, one second,
Defeating the
just
BJP,
one second,
RSS
one
is
second.
concerned.
Tausif Khan,
However,
please answer this
however,
question. You say that this is a fight against the communal ideology, non-Gandhian values of the BJP, right? That is what you're saying. So then why does the TMC contest against the Congress party? The Congress is the original party of Gandhi.
Exactly.
Yes, and I'm giving an answer. Which this India Alliance succeeded in 2024. It is because of this alliance that BJP failed to get the majority.
Oh my God.
BJP had to depend on support from
so
the,
it is only about
the
denying Modi
party.
the majority. That you're
And
saying
the
so.
reason-
You are now proving the
And the
point.
reason,
I need to come in here.
Please allow me uninterrupted 2 minutes. You are too senior for me to remind you all this. Now, the reason why the BJP still has the government in the center today is because the India Alliance, which initially had Nitish Kumar on his side, just before 2 months before alliance election, he switched side because of the lack of communication. And the blame went to Congress party for that. Even in Bengal, Mamata Banerjee had made a proposal for a seat sharing, and Congress did not respond. And as a result, Mamata Banerjee fielded their Trinamool candidate in all the Bengal MP seats.
Yes.
Therefore, today the question is whether Congress will have to keep his ego aside and allow junior partners to take a leadership role.
So ego in what context is this ego coming in? Because they want to prove that they're number one party, isn't it? So it's all about electoral jockeying. That's all. It's got nothing to do with ideology. There would be no question of
No, it's
all about ideology.
It's all about
okay, one minute.
Party, which party is in a position to defeat BJP.
So, Tausif Khan Saab,
in Delhi, it is Aam Aadmi Party who can defeat BJP.
Can I make one point?
Congress is not
okay, Tehseen wants to respond to you.
5 seconds.
Tehseen wants to respond.
5 seconds.
Okay, yes.
5 seconds. Just 5 seconds. Sanjay, I apologize. By that same logic of the TMC spokesperson, Congress plus AAP will be in a better position in Delhi, Congress plus TMC. But you see what these regional parties want to do. They want their pampered dynasty to lead the party, number one. Number two, they don't want to give Congress space, but they want to destroy the Congress. In Haryana, AAP has destroyed the Congress. That is the problem. That is the problem. The idea can't be defeat Modi. The idea has to be
but why are they doing this, Tehseen Poonawalla? Because they want to get more seats.
Tomorrow you tell me, if an ED case opens up in West Bengal, they won't go and support BJP from outside. I'm asking you a question. You think tomorrow the same people who today are abusing Sanatan Dharma will not go and sit with the BJP, and the BJP will take them? There is no consistency. You know what is happening in Maharashtra.
So they absolutely have zero commitment to ideology, democracy. It's only about kitne seat, kahan se milenge, and at whose expense. Okay. I think Tehseen today, Tehseen, you have joined the BJP. You're sounding like Sanju Verma. Anyhow, Sanju Verma, let me bring you in. Let me bring you in. Let me bring you in. Sanju Verma, are we now at a situation where you have zero alternative to you? How do you respond?
You know, that's a very interesting question, Rahul. You know, I'm not going to get into the facts about Rahul Gandhi having lost 89 big and small elections for his party and still being resurrected every so often with brazen impunity. And the Congress thinks he's the next best thing after brown bread. But be that as it may, let's get one thing very clear. Since now the Delhi elections are in focus, you know, your audience needs to hear this. You see contrarian statements from within the ... alliance. For instance, you have Sandeep Dixit, who's been making statements against Atishi. You have Sanjay Singh, who's baying for the blood of Congressee Ajay Makkan. You have Ashok Gehlot, who has a completely different take on the Delhi outcome versus Prithviraj Chavan, again a Congressee and ex-CM of Maharashtra. Then you have Pratap Singh Bajwa. He has no love lost for Bhagwan Singh Mann. We all know Pratap Singh Bajwa is one of the tallest leaders of the Congress in Punjab. And then you have Mamata Banerjee, who's on record saying that Rahul Gandhi is not ever going to become the Prime Minister. You have Lalu Prasad Yadav, who's finally thrown in the towel and is supporting Mamata Banerjee and has abandoned Sonia Gandhi. You have TMC senior MP known for his mimicry skills, Kalyan Banerjee.
So I'm asking you, Sanju Verma.
Loggerheads with Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. 1 minute, Rahul. When it comes to Sanju Verma, you lose your patience, but I'll just come to the basic. I have been screaming for the last 2 years from every available rooftop. I repeat, screaming my lungs out that the dot alliance has no common political program, no common minimum economic.
So then can I ask you, then let me ask you, if it was so obvious,
they are driven by one thing.
If it was so obvious, Sanju Verma, 1 minute, if it was so obvious, why are you 40 short of majority?
Exactly.
I'm coming to that, my God. Rahul, sometimes I feel you're not the anchor. I have to debate with another very erudite panelist. We already have Dr. Ranganathan, please. Okay. So let me just say this. That yes, I will admit, ab ki baar 400 par did not click. Am I disappointed? Yes. I would be lying if I was sitting on your show and saying, oh, so what? We are in power for the 3rd time in a row. But equally, if you want to give us brickbats about only being restrained at 240, learn to give us the bouquets. Because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the only leader in 62 years to become Prime Minister for the 3rd time in a row, and an elected one at that.
Okay, but
because
you're 32 short and I'm not getting a clear answer. I know you're disappointed, but why are you disappointed? I didn't get the clear answer. Look, viewers, I always ask the questions that are the hardest and the most relevant, which get me no responses. So you're none the wiser, but that's okay. Dr. Ranganathan, I just want to ask you this. Are you now convinced, after hearing all of these other great panelists of ours tonight, that the India bloc is just an electoral understanding? That's it.
Rahul, look, even in this day and age, there are people who think that if you repeat a lie 1,000 times, you are no longer a liar. Likewise, if you be a hypocrite 1,000 times, you think you will no longer be seen as hypocrite. And all the leaders of India Alliance have these two special attributes, liars and hypocrites. Otherwise, you tell me a very simple fact. If it was not for coming together for the sake of opportunism, why on earth would AAP and Congress strike an alliance at the national level, but not at the state level, while at the same time Congress exposing horrendous scams of Aam Aadmi Party more than even the BJP.
Yes.
So here is the thing. You accuse a party of being horribly corrupt, completely horribly corrupt, and yet you strike an alliance. How on earth is it possible to have that party as a partner on an odd day and not as an even day? That why do we need more evidence? But other than that, I want to ask, Tehseen said, I have advocated for a shadow cabinet. If ever there was something like that formed, I would want Tehseen as the shadow prime minister. Because I have said it time and again.
You are getting me into trouble. I'll get kicked out.
Of where?
Wait.
Even if I'm nowhere, they'll remove a notice. I will be in there'll be 14.
Okay, but one second. Jokes aside. Just 1 second. Let me bring in Tausif Khan. Tausif Khan, should it be wound up now, the India Alliance? What is the relevance?
The India Alliance has its relevance as long as the elections are fought. In 2027, we have Lok Sabha elections. We will see what the relevance of India Alliance is.
In 27? No. We don't have Lok Sabha in 27. Those are in 29. Itne jaldi mat bula lo.
29. Yes.
No, 1 second. No. 1 second, Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, please don't skip years. You're skipping years, 5 years, 10 years. Aise mat boliye. I just want to ask you a very simple question. Has the time come to wind up the India Alliance? I'll tell you why, and maybe you can respond to me. In a couple of years, there will be, in fact, in a year and a half, there will be elections in West Bengal. There again, you will be fighting with each other. You'll be fighting each other, not the cause of constitutionalism.
No, you are right. In state elections,
if I'm right, then
in state elections, in fact, they have the India Alliance members in Bengal have fought against each other in the last elections.
So then
So
how is it an alliance?
I
No,
won't
but-
be surprised
so
in
then
state
where
elections.
is the
It has always
alliance?
with
been
each
so.
other?
I mean, look
How is
at
it an
the...
alliance?
The point here is which regional
Please shed your
party is
hypocrisy for a
in a
change.
position
Tasif,
to
shed your
defeat
hypocrisy
BJP.
for a change.
No.
Okay, let
wait,
him finish.
Please,
Let him
please.
finish. Let him finish.
Whether
No, because I
in
have
Delhi,
time to speak. He
Sanju,
will
please
continue
You
don't,
can
this
don't.
respond,
long
ma'am. You
Whether
can respond.
in Delhi, whether Congress is in a position to defeat BJP or Aam Aadmi Party is in a position, that is the yardstick
Rahul,
with
I need
which
to
the
step in
decision
Okay,
for a
is
viewers,
made.
that is not a
Therefore,
yardstick
all
to
the
build an
alliance partner is
ideologically
supporting Aam
cohesive
Aadmi Party
election.
because
No,
Aam
hang on.
Aadmi
Election
Party
platform.
is in a
That...
I need to
position
come
to
in very
defeat
quickly.
BJP.
Okay, yes, okay. Ms. Verma, please respond, and then I need to
Thank you.
move on to a very important issue with Dr. Ranganathan. I really want his views on this. Yes.
Yes. JP Nadda, I think he summed up the dot alliance very well. Kahin ki eat, kahin ka roda, Bhanumati ne kunba joda. Apart from their visceral hatred for Narendra Modi, इनके पास कोई agenda ही नहीं है. In the Kerala elections, the Congress and the left were against each other. In the West Bengal Assembly elections, Congress and the left were fighting against Mamata Banerjee. तो भाई कौन सा इलेक्शन है आपका, कौन सा अलायंस है? थोड़ी तो हिपोक्रेसी और शर्म बची है तो admit it. That you
The
guys are
BJP
done
licking
and
its lips
dusted.
tonight,
You guys
viewers.
are done and dusted.
The BJP licking its chops and its lips tonight because they know that this is a sham that they are confronted with. But the joke is actually not, viewers, on the India Alliance. It's on us. The voters who actually picked the India Alliance, Dr. Ranganathan, to think that the India Alliance cohesively will fight for all the values that the BJP is supposed to have destroyed in our country. Very quick comment, and then I want to go on to another story. Yes, Doctor.
Absolutely. And as for, my good friend Tausif, you look at the hypocrisy where TMC scorned and scoffed at BJP saying that, look, we need sons of the soil, people from Bengal. And who did TMC defeat? The 5-time MP Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the son of the soil.
Yes.
They brought Yusuf Pathan from Gujarat.
And viewers, just think about the number of India bloc so-called MPs who are no longer bound by ideology. They are not raising your issues as a bloc anymore. They are raising their issues in isolation. That leaves you poorer. You got scammed by the India Alliance, and that is an absolute outrageous scandal, viewers. But I want to move on. Think about this, viewers, because this is a very big story. The links of Pak immigrants in the UK to the horrific mass rape of white young British women, a number of them minor girls, has caused a massive rift within the Asian community in Britain. References to the word Asian in the media to describe the origins of those accused is the primary trigger, given that the grooming gang members were Britons of Pakistani descent. Other Asians of Indian, Lankan and Bangladeshi origin feel that the media needs to make a distinction between the accused and the rest of the Asian community, not only because the actions of Pakistani origin British gangs stigmatize the community as a whole, but also because it could prompt a severe collective backlash against all Asians. Dr. Ranganathan, the Pakistani origin British Asians have brought shame upon the entire Asian community.
I disagree. It is the humans who have brought shame, just like it is the truck that ran over innocent Christmas revelers in Germany, just like it was a truck and a lorry that ran over innocent people celebrating New Year's Eve in America. It's always the truck, it's always the knife, it's always humans, it is never Muslims.
Well, viewers, fundamentally, you have an issue there, a massive schism. Now, Dr. Ranganathan, just analyze this matter because this case has now been shut. The UK MPs, obviously conservative, Labour MPs belonging to Keir Starmer's party there have said, we don't want to go into this. What do you think is the reason?
Well, obviously, Sir Keir Starmer was in charge of the investigations for a very long time. So he fears that, a lot of unpalatable truth is going to come out. But the fact of the matter is, as I say it again, there are people in this country who were outraging at the reopening of the Sambhal files. We just had that discussion.
Yeah.
People are scared when uncomfortable truth comes out. And in this case, the truth is so horrific that The fathers of the girls who were raped, when they complained, they were arrested. This is the state to which UK has turned out to be. As Elon Musk says, you can get away from by raping someone, but you are arrested for posting a meme. It is so bizarre and absurd, and I believe it is the end of the free society of free UK as we thought it was. It's no longer that, Rahul, and that is the crux. This Prime Minister believes, Keir Starmer believes, that by reopening this, which he should have done.
So I'll be very honest with you. I'll ask you a very honest question, and we don't have much time, but honest question. Are these the wages of appeasement politics that we have lived through here?
Absolutely, 100%. And as I said, there are 3 stages of appeasement: welfare, wokefare, and warfare. And in both UK and India, we have sadly reached the 3rd stage, which is warfare.
Which is warfare. Viewers, this is a shocking scandal. It needs to be brought out, and there are parallels. It's not as if this has not happened in India, let me tell you. And Dr. Ranganathan, I think I'll jog your memory back to a state called Gujarat, where this happened in a huge manner.
In fact, the Ajmer scandal of 1992. Yes, it was a very, very similar thing. More than 250 underage Indian girls from 11 to 20 were systematically groomed and raped, and the politicians hushed it up, the media hushed it up, and there are still those women who were sexually abused doing the rounds of the courts as grandmothers. This is what the system has come to, Rahul.
And the people, viewers, who have actually come out and said why these stories weren't told is because a large number of people felt that those who would come forth would be labeled anti-Islamic or Islamophobic. That is the bottom line, viewers. It is shocking, actually. It is very shocking, where a society has chosen political correctness over people. Think about that. I leave it at this.
Presented by.
Horrific stampede unfolded at Tirupati near the token issuance counter. Now, this has claimed the life of over 6 people yesterday. Over 40 pilgrims were injured and are being treated at the Tirupati Ruya Hospital, where protests have erupted by the grieving relatives. Now, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has ordered relief measures to be implemented at the site to ensure proper care. Now, Prime Minister Modi has also expressed grief over the incident and said that the government is assisting the victims. And also the former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy has reacted, saying order must be restored on ground. I'm now joined by CNN-News18's Payal Mehta. Payal, we are in fact getting to know that Chandrababu Naidu is all set to visit Tirupati today. What has been his reaction to the entire incident?
Well, to begin with, Sharon, he's expressed, immense grief and, has expressed his shock at what has transpired in Tirupati last week at the ticket counter, where we are given to understand essentially when the gates were opened, there was a rush of the devotees who wanted to go inside, and that actually resulted in a stampede. Having said that, since the relief measures are already on, the injured have been rushed to hospital and are undertaking treatment. Chandrababu Naidu himself will be visiting the location at about 12 o'clock today, and he'll be meeting officials from the TTD board and also visiting the hospital to meet the injured. And that is something which is going to happen, but he's also going to be ordering a probe because such an incident is not acceptable. The occasion of, this Chaturdashi is extremely significant, and people do understand that there is a lot of rush at the temple premises during this time. So crowd management should have been better done. And where did this go wrong? He's also going to be meeting the board officials. He'll be doing a review at the location as well. So obviously a most unfortunate thing panning out last night, with about 6 people being killed and several others being injured. And everybody is monitoring the situation. The health minister has also requested that doctors should assist those people who are injured and let them leave from hospital only after they are fully recovered.
All right. I'm also, in fact, joined by PV Ramanna, who is Associate Editor with News18 Telugu. Payal, I request you to please stay with us. Let me now go to PV Ramanna. PV Ramanna, when we talk about the entire incident and when we talk about the crowd management in Tirupati, it has always been appreciated. What really went wrong this time that this unfortunate incident happened?
So, in regard to this tragic incident which happened yesterday at Tirumala, the main reason for this is the mismanagement of the crowd, in fact. So, actually, for this Vaikunta Dwara Darshana, which will happen on 10th of this month, that is a Vaikunta Ekadashi, a lot of crowd was expected, in fact. There almost the temple authorities expected that there will be crowd around 1.2 lakh to 1.5 lakh people every day for 10 days, in fact. So, accordingly, they wanted to make the arrangements. And to issue the tokens from today morning, there were set up some counters in the different places of Tirumala and Tirupati. In the temple, in the ticket issuing counter where the Ramanayadu school was there, there was one ticket issuing point was there. Unfortunately, there were almost 4,000 to 5,000 people were gathered to get the tokens from that particular place. So unfortunately, what happened? One devotee who came for the darshan was sick at the time. The temple authority who is managing the health kind of a things, that doctor went to treat, open the gates to treat that patient, in fact. So suddenly the people who was waiting, who gathered there for the tokens, was felt that there is already issued the ticket. At that time, all the people together take the tokens, in fact, to stay in the queue line. So in that incident, the entire this tragic incident was happened. At the spot, 5 people were died, and another person is very seriously injured and is taking treatment in the Ruya hospital in Tirupati. So all the rescue operations is in place. Already, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu expressed his grief and anger also on the temple authorities while expecting a lot of people to that Vaikunta Ekadashi. Why don't you making proper arrangements? So today is expected to visit.
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. The Trump quake is shaking the world. The self-proclaimed deal maker is taking mergers and acquisitions to a whole new level. He wants to merge Canada with the US. He wants to acquire Greenland and rename the Gulf of Mexico. Needless to say, all 3 parties have reacted sharply. He also seems to be training his guns on his BFF, Benjamin Netanyahu, and wants to declare an emergency to impose tariffs. Remember, his presidency has not even begun yet, and the world is on edge. Guess who is taking on him? The one and only Jagmeet Singh. After killing Justin Trudeau's political career, he is shooting the Khalistanis in the foot. Can't complain. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, the wildfires have caused damages worth billions of dollars. In the UK, MPs are targeting Pakistan. They want to freeze aid to Pakistan. We will tell you why. What does the India-Taliban reset mean for both sides? Why